Hello, everybody, and welcome to another night of Chair League. I am Esquire Sandwich, and today we have what promises to be an extremely exciting Division 2 game between volumeZERO and Pepperidge Farm Remembers. So as we get everyone all situated, get the draft links out, and we should be ready to get this game going very soon. So both of these teams, very interestingly, have not yet played a game in Chair League at all. They're both new this season, at least according to their Chair League pages, and they've both placed into Division 2 with no games played as of yet. So I'm very excited to cast what seems to be the first game for both of these teams, and hopefully it's going to be a memorable one. Both teams have jumped into the draft, and they are ready to go. We are playing on Infernal Shrines today, and volumeZERO is going to go ahead and ban Kerrigan at the start. Kerrigan, of course, clears the shrine objectives extremely quickly, can do it solo while the rest of the team pushes, and is a very dangerous assassin in her own right. So if they weren't planning on taking her, I think that's a very strong first ban. Pepperidge Farm Remembers. Going to take their time a little bit with their first ban. I think they might have been planning on banning Kerrigan, and they're going to ban Sylvanas. Again, so specialists can be very strong on this map, and Sylvanas, she can help the Immortal, or rather the Punisher, push extremely well, or she can go off on her own and push while the rest of her team supports the Punisher. So another huge threat taken off the table. Two great bans to start out. And how does volumeZERO want to start this draft? They're going to take Li Ming. She's certainly a strong mage. It's an interesting first pick, as Li Ming loses a lot of her value on this map because of the objective. It's very hard for her to land her abilities on heroes because all the skeleton warriors are in the way. So you don't see her too much on this map, and maybe not as a first pick, but she's obviously a great damage dealer and a very difficult mage to play against. Pepperidge Farm is going to respond with a mage of their own and grab Jaina. Tit for tat, mage for mage. Let's see what they want to follow it up with. Jaina, of course, can set up or follow up the Punisher stuns with a Ring of Frost or even just a Blizzard, so she can really capitalize on a Blizzard Stomp and turn it into something huge. And they're going to follow up with the Johanna, classic J&J combo. Always a good decision, always a strong combination. Johanna, of course, great at clearing the objective, as is Jaina. Big AoE damage or AoE abilities can clear those shrines very quickly. So both teams are thinking about the objective as they're making these drafts, which is great to see. And what volumeZERO are going to respond with. They don't necessarily need to grab a tank right away if they're flexible with their tank choice, but they're not. They want to grab Muradin. They don't want him banned away from them, so they're going to lock him in. Let's see what else they're going to lock in. Johanna, of course, adds a blind, so auto attackers lose just a little bit of value, but a Thrall, a Butcher would still be helpful for someone to dive on that Jaina if the opportunity presented itself, and they are going to grab the Thrall. I think it's a good pick. I think you want that melee damage, that front line, so that Li Ming can stay back and do her thing. Yes, Johanna can blind you, but you know what? You can deal with it. It only lasts 3 seconds, and then you're still a huge threat. All right, so Pepperidge Farm. They might look to ban another specialist. They might look to ban Zool here, unless they want to take Zool themselves. It would be a good counter to Thrall. They could ban a support, but then they'd be locking themselves out of a potential support, so that's a little risky. They are definitely taking their time thinking about this. They want to be careful with the choice. And they are going to ban Greymane. So they're afraid of a double sort of diving comp. Thrall and Greymane together would obviously eliminate Jaina or any other squishy hero that Pepperidge Farm chooses to take. And on volumeZERO, uh, I think if I were them, I would ban maybe Butcher, because with Thrall, Kerrigan, and Greymane out, that's a lot of melee damage gone. It's going to be hard for Pepperidge Farm to build up a front line. And they're going to build in Lunara. Lunara is definitely a strong uh, a strong assassin. She can be extremely annoying, extremely frustrating, especially if she can just poke a Li Ming a little bit. Starts to go down so quick, it's hard for Thrall to catch up to her because of the increased movement speed. So I like that ban. All right, how are Pepperidge Farm going to respond here? Again, they I think would want to lock up the support of their choice so it doesn't get taken away from them. And there's a lot of ways they can round out their comp. I'd like to see a specialist. They are going to grab Rhaegar. Another interesting pick. He's still a good healer, but he's fallen off a lot as of late. Um, he just doesn't he doesn't do as much for you as some other supports do. You know, you've seen Oriel a little bit take his place with the recent changes. Malfurion might become a more common fixture, but he's still a good healer, and that Ancestral is as clutch as it ever was. And Pepperidge Farm is going to follow it up with Falstad. Falstad is still a tier 1 hero, absolutely. It's actually surprising to see him go this far down into a draft, usually, so that's a good pickup for them. They're a little heavy on range talent, assassins, damage. They don't really have too much of a front line, but Johanna's so strong, she kind of acts as a front line for both of them. So volumeZERO, what do they need? They still need their support. And really, I think any of them are on the table. Oriel, I think, would work well with Thrall for the increased attack speed. Brightwing, the Greek group healing, the global, the polymorph in case Falstad tries to dive to the back line. Comes with a lot of utility. She's a strong pick, and they can round out their comp with whatever it is they like. Could go with a double warrior, another assassin, double support. I think I'd like to see a specialist, though. I think Zul works very well on this map. I think Zul works well on a lot of maps. And gives an opportunity to push, one lane while the team is helping the Punisher push another lane. And of course, that lockdown can be huge in finishing off a Jaina kill. Svan's already off the table. They already have a front line. They could get a second ranged assassin here. Not necessarily a mage, but well, let's see. Falstad's already off the table. Who else could they grab? Seems they're having as much trouble with the decision as I am. I'm going to keep going back to Zul. I'd like Zul here, especially to take it away from Pepperidge Farm, since Zul is a bit of a counter to Thrall, can lock him down, can slow down his basic attacks. But they go with Gazlowe. Gazlowe, he's seeing a lot of play recently, and good for him. He was shunned, and you were hated in Hero League if you took him, but he's seeing a little bit more play recently with his recent buffs. And he can also be very strong if he sets up on the objective before Pepperidge Farm gets a chance to get there. Fighting into those turrets can be a huge hassle, and that damage can really add up. Plus, of course, if he decides to go with Gravo Bomb, which I would expect in this game, that's a huge setup for a massive combo. Gravo Bomb into Sunder, say goodnight, Jaina. And how's Pepperidge Farm going to respond? Again, I think especially now that volumeZERO has a specialist who's going to be pushing a lane very hard, they need a response of their own, and they go with Asmodan, the Lord of Sin, another hero you don't see nearly enough of. I'm very excited for this map. I'm glad that they did grab a specialist. I think that was the right move. I wasn't expecting Asmodan, but I'm really excited to see him. And with Johanna and Jaina, they can really help him build up those stacks quickly for the Globe of Annihilation and do some very significant damage. He'll be able to clear the objective quickly. He'll be able to do a ton of damage to any heroes that get he can pick off in the Globe. Could see some great dunks on Li Ming if she escapes a blizzard. So there's a lot that can be done with Azmodan. The counter side, though, is he can't, he has to be careful not to try to push his own lane too far, because if he gets caught out, with thrall roots and stuns, he's got a lot of health, but not enough that he could afford to get caught out. So I'm very excited to see how this game turns out. It looks like all of the players are ready. We're about to get this game underway. Looking at these both comps, I think I have to give a little bit of an edge to volumeZERO because they have the melee assassin as well as the backline. The Pepperidge Farmer members, they don't really have much more of a front line than Johanna, so if Thrall can get behind them, he'll be able to do a lot of damage, and it's going to be tough for Pepperidge Farmer members to stand up to that much damage. So let's get on with the introductions. On the blue side, for volumeZERO, we have Ragamaru on Gazlo, Hyzak on Thrall, Magnetic on Li Ming, Gur on Brightwing, and Tay on Muradin. On the red side, for Pepperidge Farm members, we have Afro Puff 9000 on Falstad, Hardwood on Rhaegar, Flava Flav on Azmodan, Nuka on Johanna, and Doug Funny 13 on Jaina. And to start things off, there's a quick Globe just to let him know where we are. And Brightwing catches a little bit of it. So volumeZERO is going to set up in this bush here. I imagine Pepperidge Farm has figured it out based on where those Li Ming shots were coming from. But Hardwood does go to check it out. He's going to get stunned and rooted and deleted. So the bush gank worked. The bush gank absolutely caught that Rhaegar unprepared. And first blood is going to go in the way of volumeZERO. And teams are going to break off to lane. Let's take a look at the level 1 talents. We got Power Hungry for Li Ming, Break It Down for Gazlo, giving his abilities lower cooldowns, Rolling Thunder for Thrall, Hyper Shift, and a quick pause from Hardwood. Good, plenty of time to talk about these talents. Hyper Shift for Brightwing. Looks like he might be going, so not going with Bribe, which makes sense. Not the most common talent anymore, and is going to keep that healing up. And Perfect Storm for Muradin, getting the increased damage on his Stormbolt, and of course reducing the mana. So not taking a block, which I think makes sense. Falstad's really the only auto attack you'd have to worry about, and of course Reverberation is now built into his Thunderclap, so that's opened up his options at level 1. Over on Pepperidge Farm Remembers, we've got Colossal Totem, extra range on that totem for Rhaegar, and that slow is obviously going to be huge to help set up globes, blizzards, all the damage. Gathering Storm, Sieging Wrath, so he's stacking the heroes and not the minions. Winter's Reach and Reinforce. Again, Johanna, the recent rework, adding Night Take Spawn essentially into her base kit, so giving her some more freedom as well. And here comes a 4-man gank heading bottom. Falstad is close enough to the wall that he's not going to get caught in it, but it's a very quick rotation from volumeZERO, and they're going to rotate right back top and keep both of these lanes pushed, while Gazlo keeps a push top. Azmodan coming down to get a quick Globe, and he does hit 3, maybe even 4 heroes with that, so working on his his quest, and the first shrine is already active. volumeZERO is a little bit ahead in the wave clearing department, and Gazlo is going to come down, looks like, to assist, and Azmodan is as well a little bit later. Both teams are setting up. volumeZERO wants to hit 4 if they can before they engage on this, and Pepperidge Farm looks like they're going to let him, but here they go in, recognizing the whole team's not there. They're going to pick up a few of those skeletal defenders. volumeZERO does hit 4, and we get Dominance, Ride the Lightning, Peekaboo, Thunderburn, and Reduce, Reuse, Recycle on Gazlo there. So they've got a talent advantage, and they're getting a lot out of it. Li Ming has lost a little bit of health, but she's not going to die, not yet. Brightwing getting that vision. Burden doing a good job zoning false at that bottom. Azmodan just building up his globes, doing a decent amount of damage onto volumeZERO. But volumeZERO is way ahead of skeletal defenders. They're only 5 away. Johanna going very low on the bottom there. Very low indeed. Li Ming getting those picks, and she's way too far forward, and Murden is going to finish her off. And Murden was on the chase, but unfortunately can't get anything else out of it. So not only does volumeZERO pick up the first Punisher of the game, an Arcane Punisher no less, but they also get a kill on Johanna, and they are now up by a full level. So this, they're going to get the front wall here at least. Falstad looks like he's trying to bait it over, but it does go to Jaina instead. Murden with the leap trying to follow up, but he can't get there in time. And all of the damage going out on that Punisher. It looks like they will be able to keep this fort alive. Another jump down there on Rhaegar this time. Johanna going down quickly. Huge chunks from Li Ming. And they do manage to get the fort. So great job there by volumeZERO. They do get the bottom fort. Li Ming wants a little bit more out of this, but I think they realize they have to go. And look at all these turrets. That Reduce, Reuse, Recycle gives Gazlo additional scrap, which is essentially his mana every time, or when a chance to get those when minions die. So he basically has, at this point already, unlimited mana. He can drop those turrets so quickly. So you saw 4 there already. It was a huge help in finishing off that structure. Meanwhile, Brightwing's soaking top, making use of her global. She can get to the fight if she's needed. But if she's not, she can go top and soak. Gazlo grabbing a camp. Well, we got an engagement over here. Azmodan getting caught out. The Polymorph goes down, but he is going to get away. Johanna also manages to find an escape route. And well done there by Flava Flav and Nuka. They got caught out, but they managed to escape back to the safety of their front wall and their mid fort. Level-wise, again, we have volumeZERO has now hit 7. We're seeing Calamity. Maybe the starts of a teleport build on Li Ming. Oop. And they're going to invade in the mid here. Big chunks going down. Root down on Rhaegar. He's getting solo Murden with the leap, and he goes down. A great blizzard by Jaina. Murden getting very low. The laser's on him, but he does manage to go down. Johanna with I think the condemn is what finished him off. Great job there by Pepperidge Farm returning that kill, and that's going to get them level 7, so at least they will be even talents when this shrine spawns. And all 5 members of both teams will be up. So level 7 talents, we've got that Calamity, the teleport damage from Li Ming, extra damage on the turrets, follow through, phase shield, and battle momentum, or Murden's version of battle momentum. We got Cleanse, Boomerang, of course, Infernal Globe, Frostbitten, and Blessed Momentum. So both tanks taking battle momentum to increase those stuns and that CC. And looks like volumeZERO got a little bit of a head start here. Again, look, all of those turrets are already set up. Azmodan's clearing them out, and Brightwing getting caught out here a little bit. And he will go down with a Boomerang from Falstad. But there's already 23 skeletal defenders on the side of volumeZERO. Even without Brightwing, they might still be able to get this. Azmodan's still throwing those globes, trying to steal defenders, trying to do damage. He might have already finished his quest. I think he has. And they've pushed volumeZERO off of the shrine. Sure, they only need 9 more. Brightwing's on his way. He'll be able to teleport in. So the only 9 more. They're now back at 5, and they're going to invade. Azmodan gets caught in a root. Yeah. He's going to back off healthy. Rhaegar going low, but he's going to stay alive as well. Johanna has no mana. She is caught out way front. She pops Unstoppable. The dive for Murd, and she's so low. There's the stun, and she goes down. Another Punisher for volumeZERO. And they are not done yet. They chased it down. They also wanted Falstad. Azmodan did manage to hearth away with his life, but that is level 10 for volumeZERO. We're going to see Disintegrate, Gravo Bomb, Sundering, Blink Heal, and Avatar. All the ults you'd expect. Jaina getting caught by the Punisher, then the stun from Murden, and finally the damage from Li Ming. Great coordination by volumeZERO, and she is deleted. And that's going to be another fort. And there's not too much that Pepperidge Farm Remembers can do right now. They don't have 10. Honestly, what I think they need to do is I think Falstad needs to go top. Azmodan needs to go bottom. You need to get your soak up. You need to hit 10 as soon as possible, or you're never going to get back in this game. The front wall is gone. It's going down. You can't save it. You have to let it go and try to get 10 as soon as possible. Because right now, volumeZERO can do whatever they want. If they do decide to back off and just get their own camp, and they're going to let Pepperidge Farm get a camp of their own, again, I think this is a mistake. The camp gives you minimal XP. You need to be top here. You need to be getting the soak of this top lane to try to catch up in experience. All right, yes, now you're 10. That's great. But, you know, that was just a 3 or 4 minions. You know, everything's going to help because before you know it, volumeZERO is going to be 13, and you're still going to be behind in talent. But if they can pull up a team fight, that'll give them a Punisher of their own, and they'll be able to get right back in this. So taking a look at the ultimates, we've got Ancestral Healing, of course, Mighty Gust, Blackpool, Ring of Frost, and Blessed Shield for Pepperidge Farm Remembers. And again, volumeZERO, they're keeping their soak up. Right Wing is top. She's getting every last bit of experience she can in this top lane. And they're trying to hit 13 before the next shrine pops, and they're going to get it. There's the Gravel Bomb, the Sunder, the stun. So much damage. Li Ming doesn't even need the resets with that Disintegrate, killing 3 heroes. The root is just short on getting Azmodan. But this is absolutely going to be an uncontested, well, not entirely uncontested, top Immortal, or top Punisher. All of Pepperidge Farm Remembers will be up just a few seconds into the objective. They will, if they all rush, they will be able to get there before volumeZERO finishes. But they're down to talent. I don't know if that's a fight they want to take. It's actually, I changed my mind on that. I do know it's a fight they don't want to take. And now they are looking to get their soak up, just trying to catch up to 13. Oh, but they're abandoning mid again. It looks like they've changed their mind. They do actually want to engage here. volumeZERO is already halfway done with the shrine, though. And as they head up, Azmodan is going to be a little bit late. They're getting Johanna's throwing her blinds in, trying to stall it a little bit, slow it down. But that's going to be another Mortar Punisher this time for volumeZERO. And we take 11 13 talents they took. Illusionist, more teleport distance for Li Ming. Extra turrets for Gazlo, Giant Killer for Thrall, Shield Dust for Brightwing, and Thunderstrike for Murden. Giant Killer makes a lot of sense here. You've got Johanna, who obviously has a ton of health, and you have Azmodan, who has, I think, the most health out of any hero in the game. So Thrall will get a lot of value out of that. Oh, and Falstad did not go down there. I'm not sure why the game suggested that he did. Thought Falstad is perfectly healthy. Don't worry about Falstad. Now worry about Falstad. He got caught by the Punisher, but he does manage to barrel roll away, and Pepperidge Farm Remembers manages to get away there with just losing their fort and most of their front wall. They did not lose their keep, and while this certainly is not a great situation for them to find themselves in, losing that keep would have been a lot worse. If they had lost any heroes there, that keep would have gone down, and then they would have been in real trouble. Right now, the game is still winnable. They just need to catch up on talents. They need to hit 13 as soon as possible and try to take a fight before volumeZERO hits 16. But they're staying together, which is interesting. They're staying together, but as if they were afraid of getting ganked. But there really haven't been that many ganks so far. volumeZERO's been winning the team fights, and it's been pretty easy for them because they've had such a strong level lead. So now they're set up the gank at the bottom camp. Johanna pulled him into the Ring of Frost, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Li Ming is getting so much value out of her abilities. Gazlowe and Brightwing do go down. Rhaegar's already dead. Johanna's going to go down. Here comes Li Ming with the resets. There goes Falstad. Jaina does manage to avoid the root. And Thrall is chasing her, but he does have to give up the fight. She gets away with just a smidgen of health, but the damage is done. That fight gave volumeZERO 16. It's going to be a long time before Pepperidge Farm remembers finds themselves at 16. So again, it's going to be a long time before they can fight on even ground. Level 16 talents. Li Ming continuing that teleport build with Diamond Skin, increasing the damage from turrets when Gazlowe is near them. Tempest Fury, the triple attack for Thrall at the end of Wind Fury. Bouncy Dust, and Heavy Impact. So now, what we have for the Brightwing healing is that shield is going to land on 2 people, and it's going to protect from ability damage as well as auto attack damage. So now Jaina's going to have a hard time getting in the damage she needs to try to get these zeros down. Let's take a quick look at the stats, because I don't think, while Pepperidge Farm is posturing here, I don't think they can really do anything about this. They're down 2 levels in a talent. Murden gets the diving, gets the stun on Falstad, gets the Thunderclap off, but nothing's going to come of it. There's the Blessed Shield going down. Brightwing is getting fairly low. She blinks to Thrall, but she gets caught in the root, and she does manage to go down. The Sunder into the Gravo Bomb, and there goes Jaina and Johanna. Falstad tried to save them with the Mighty Gust, but Rhaegar was destined for the grave. He does manage to get away with 160 health, I think, with his lowest. And it's 3 for 1. That's exactly what Pepperidge Farm did not want to happen. This keep is going down. There's no question about it. And if they lose anybody else here, it's very likely could be game. Because Brightwing, as soon as she comes back in 9 seconds, she's going to be right back at the fight. She's going to teleport right in. The stun goes out on Azmodan. He draws it over to the top keep. Excellent job there. He's got so much health, he doesn't need to worry too much about that damage, and they've distracted the Punisher from doing too much damage. The keep goes down anyway, but that Punisher is already almost dead, so let's see, Murden getting the jump in. It looks like they want to make more happen here. Johanna does go down. There's the Gravo Bomb. That's a lot of damage to Azmodan, but a fantastic Ancestral to keep him alive. But volumeZERO, they've decided that they are not going to push their luck any further. They've gotten the keep. They want to leave. Falstad's actually not going to let them. He gusts them back in. But Azmodan's been going down this whole time. That's not going to be the result that he wanted. And Falstad just winds up dead himself. There's the stun on Jaina. The damage from Li Ming. The Sunder to prevent her from getting back to the Hall of Storms. She is deleted. And I think that's going to be it. The core's already at 70%. Murden is zoning them out, keeping Pepperidge Farm members in their Hall of Storms. The core down to 58%. Azmodan getting some damage in. But here comes Li Ming with the Disintegrate, and it is melting. Azmodan's going to go down from Thrall's damage. Core down to 2-1. And that is going to be it. A decisive victory for volumeZERO. A very, very well played game by them. Take a quick look at the stats here. I mean, that Li Ming. Well, let's just take a quick look at the Azmodan first. The Azmodan, his damage was high. I mean, there's no question about it here. He was second only to Li Ming in the game, so he was obviously getting a ton of hero damage in. The problem is that damage never converted into a kill. Pepperidge Farm members only had 5 kills, so yes, you were doing plenty of poke damage, and because volumeZERO was grouping up a little bit. You've got a solid amount of damage on everybody, but without any follow-up, Brightwing is just going to heal that damage up, so it has no practical value. Meanwhile, Li Ming's damage, this almost 60,000 in damage, almost all of that was converted to a kill, and you can tell by her stats, she was involved in every single kill. So, that's just the difference in that hero damage. I'm not the Asmodam pick. I don't think it really worked out the way that Pepperidge Farm Remembers was hoping it would, and that lack of a front line hurt them in the beginning, where Thrall and Li Ming were able to just get their damage on Falstad and Jaina, and Johanna, she's just one person. She can't stop all of it. And of course, once volumeZERO got that head start, got that lead, Pepperidge Farm Remembers was just never able to recover. They took a few questionable fights, and I think the big thing that they probably want to work on to regroup for the next Chair League game is keeping track of their soak. They when they were down, they grouped up as 5, trying to defend structures that they weren't going to be able to defend, that they should have known were going to go down. So if they had instead spread out, let the structure go down, but at least you'll get your experience up and you'll be on even levels or close to even levels. That would have been their opportunity to stay closer in the game, stay a little bit more competitive. They did have moments though. There's that Asmodam was definitely landing plenty of his globes. The Rhaegar had a fantastic ancestral on Asmodam, unfortunately at the end there, but unfortunately it was too little, too late. And I think the composition of volumeZERO and their coordination was just fantastic. The stuns from Muradin, followed up by Sunders, followed up by Gravo bombs, and of course Li Ming raining damage down on all of it, was just too much for Pepperidge Farm Remembers to bear, and gave this Division 2 game to volumeZERO. So as we take our final look at the stats here and one last look at the talents, congratulations to our winners. Again, volumeZERO. That was an exciting game. They definitely did a lot with Gazlo, an unconventional pick, and they played the map very well, and their coordination was very good. So I'm excited to see more from them, and I'm excited to see more from Pepperidge Farm Remembers. Hopefully they can take this experience, they can learn, they can grow, and we'll see them again. I want to thank all of you for watching. Please follow me here on Twitch, or you can follow me on Chair League. You can always post me a message if you want to give me any feedback or comments. And I had a great time. I want to thank the teams for letting me cast this game. And I hope you all have a good night. I am Esquire Sandwich, and that's all we have.